And now it's time for Leadership of the Leaf with Dice and Austin. Let's jump in with a cut and a light.
And welcome to another episode of Leadership of the Leaf Sidebar Edition.
Cyborg.
My name's Austin,
And I'm Dice.
and today we're going to talk about we're going to touch on some cigar news around the industry. We're going to touch on the FDA and the recent Premium Cigar Association convention, I guess is what you'd call it, in Vegas.
Yeah, I couldn't make it. I wanted to. Timing just was not in my favor.
Fair enough. But before we do all that, Dice, I got to know, what are you smoking?
Oh, today, sir, I am smoking a CAO Bones. I believe you smoked one before. I've actually smoked one before. And let me make an announcement about this cigar. So I went in the cigar shop, cigar outlet, and in the box it had the dice in it. You know, you buy a box, you get a pick, right? So I ran out and I said, "Hey Roger," because that's the guy, and I was like, "Hey Roger, can I have the dice that's in that box?" He's like, "Sure." I was like, "You for real?" He's like, "Yeah." So I ran back in, grabbed the dice, and bought the cigar, and I'm happier.
Oh, nice. Very nice. I assume you're pairing that with Hennessy because that's what you drink.
That is correct. And also is a little side story. So the Hennessy I'm drinking is from Les Twins. They are a dancing duo from France. I believe it's Paris, whatever. And they actually co-signed a bottle of Hennessy. It has their own like special label, but it's a special edition Les Twins. And by all means, on our Instagram, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about.
Yes, please go check out our Instagram at Leadership of the Leaf. Give us a thumbs up, comment, let us know you're paying attention. I am smoking the Alec Bradley Magic Toast.
Oh, the Magic Toast! I remember that one.
Yeah, and I went into the store today to actually go buy this because I was out. I thought I had one in my humidor, realized I did not, so I ran out to the local brick and mortar here, and I got to tell you, first off, there's like 5 people in this store. This humidor is big enough for maybe 2 people at once. There's 5 people in this humidor. And I could tell nobody really talked to each other. Everyone was just keeping real quiet, trying to find the cigars they wanted. No big deal. But here's what's funny about this whole situation. One of the guys in there, he had a handful, and I mean like probably like 8 sticks in his hand, just like trying to grab them all. And he kept dropping them on the floor.
Oh my
and just
God.
Picking them up. He'd pick it up and then put it back in the box and then pick out a new one. And he did that like 3 times.
Fucking asshole.
And I was like, and I finally like turned around. I was like, dude, you're gonna have to like buy those cigars if you're gonna keep dropping them. I was like, that's a real dick move to drop a cigar from you, because he was my height. He's 6'1", 6'2", something like that. And I was like, you're dropping them from at least 5 feet up or so, 4 or 5 feet up, and you're just putting them back away because he's like, well, the wrapper might split. I'm like, exactly. So now you're leaving it for some other schmuck to potentially get a bad cigar. I was like, that's a real dickhead thing to do, dude. I was like, oh, well, I just didn't know you were the cigar police. And I'm like, no, I'm just a courteous person. Oh, it pissed me off. And then the employee walked in like right after that exchange. He's like, well, I'm leaving anyways. Like, just walked out. And I told the employee what happened. He's like, do you remember which ones? He's like, dude, honestly, I don't. Because I heard it drop out of, I'm paying attention to which cigars I want. And I hear something hit the ground. And I look over, and there he is, bent over, pick up another cigar. And I was like, dude, it happened like 3 times. And he put them all back and then grabbed other ones out of the same boxes.
Oh man, what a fucking asshole, dude.
Yeah, dude, I was a little irate. I was like, come on, man. But nobody really said anything. I was like the only one, but everybody else in the humidor was like kind of like looking at me after I said that. And I was like, what? Am I wrong? And then I'm like, no. I'm just surprised you said anything. I'm like, dude, that's a dick thing to do.
Yeah. It's the right thing to do, to say something.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, But anyways, so I'm smoking the Magic Toast. Thoroughly gonna enjoy this one. I've had it before. I know that you've smoked it previously.
Yes.
So
What are we pairing that magic toast with, my good friend?
Oh, the Jameson Cold Brew. So it's a whiskey and coffee. So it's a toast and coffee kind of day.
Ah, I like it. Oh, I like
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I thought I'd mix it up a little bit, but it's quite delicious. The coffee and the whiskey's coming out really good, and then I'm getting a little bit of cinnamon off the magic toast.
All right. Um, I know we're going to come up with an episode. I'm not sure when, but it'll be in the future about pairing, and I'm looking forward to that one.
Oh, I have been writing that episode actually this last week, and it's been very interesting to do. I would say research because I like to see what happens, what the experts quote unquote say, because we are by no means experts. We're just two guys sharing our opinion. But man, it's so cool. It's very interesting. But so let's jump into this sidebar.
All right.
So you want to tackle the cigar news first? You want to do the convention stuff?
Let's do the convention stuff. That seems to be like the hot topic right now. So we'll just get the convention stuff knocked out.
That's what's hot in the streets. All right. So the Premium Cigar Association had a convention in Las Vegas last week, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it just finished. I think it was Tuesday or Monday it finished off.
And so some interesting notes to come out of there. We're going to just kind of hit these notes and then talk about them a little bit. But the Padron and Fuente, they're the brands, they're going to pay tribute to their fathers. So they're going to say, this has been in the making for like, I don't know, a while. So
3 years or more.
Yeah. So each company did like 20 cigars, and I can't wait. I don't know. I may have to try to find some, but those are going to be rare and hard to come by.
It is I seen a picture of the box, and the box is the 20 and 20 on each side, and it had pictures of the father and family on each side for each company, respectively company. Man, it looks amazing. It was pretty big things at the convention for it. Another Roma Craft Tobacco, they showed up at the convention, but they unfortunately didn't get all that paperwork and stuff in order. So they still had a booth, but they just didn't have any cigars or anything to provide as samples or to showcase. So their booth just had like flags, like showing that, hey, we're still here. So I guess that's kind of cool.
I mean, it would have been cooler if they would have put out something new. Or had something to you know what I mean? Like, to me, it just kind of showcases laziness.
Well, they alluded to Skip Martin's 50th cigar limited edition, but they didn't have anything to show. They just were saying it.
Well, I'll believe it when I see it, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, Roma Craft is good. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy Roma Craft. So I just, you expect these conventions, like that's something that they know about like 6 to 8 months in advance. It's paperwork. Come on, guys.
Well, I know a lot of these companies was like last minute jumping in. I realize that. There's still no excuse.
I mean, you're Roma Craft Tobacco. You don't have an employee that could sit there and do all the paperwork and file it from start to finish in a week. I mean, I'm just saying. Throwing that out there. I heard Perdomo is just basically focusing on their staple lineup, which is not a bad thing. Don't get me wrong. I like Perdomos. I like their Champagne 10th year Connecticut's. I love their bands. They're gorgeous bands. They have really great cigars. They're really good quality, but I would love to see something new come out of Perdomo.
Yeah, they didn't introduce anything new. There was a cigar company called, probably pronounced it wrong, Cigars. And of course, I've never really heard of the cigar company, but they're celebrating their 25th year. So I guess they've been around for a while. Small boutique company out of California. It's nice to see they had a booth and they were celebrating 25 years in the game. So, I
mean, that's cool. Like, to me, I feel like the cigar industry is hard to squeeze into and carve out a market for yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you might be like a regionally known brand, like Southern Draw is kind of like a regionally known brand. I feel like you'd see them more in the South and East. Maybe up the Eastern Seaboard, that sort of stuff. But you may not see them as much out in like California, Vegas, Denver, places like that. So Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust is doing a Stillwell Star Blend. Mi Quierda Vietola and Sasquatch Poo. I love the Sasquatch.
Yeah, the Sasquatch Poo was like just a gimmick that they handed out throughout the convention. It was a cotton candy, black cherry flavored cotton candy.
That's funny. That's
I
awesome.
wish I could have got a bag.
Yeah, 100%. I always like Steve Saka. I still don't understand the hate he receives from cigar brick and mortar places. Please answer that to me, somebody.
Yeah, well, he's there though, so he's not going anywhere.
Oh, I know. You can't get rid of Steve Saka. So, all right. So what else? What else came out of there?
Fiera Tego. They are two employees from Nat Sherman. I don't know many people know Nat Sherman shut down the cigar side of their house, and the two employees kind of picked it up and resurrected from the ashes. So I would say they're new, but new with old cigar makers already there.
It's like it's like Lucid taking Tesla engineers and making a car.
Yes.
Interesting. I heard JC Newman's adding a Angel Quiesta line. So that's interesting.
Yeah, it's for one of the I don't remember who it was. I want to say a worker, maybe even like someone's brother or something. I'm not sure. It doesn't matter. It's a new line. I'm interested to see it. My father is celebrating their 10th anniversary with Flor de los Antilles. And my father, I can't say these names.
Le Bijou.
1922. And they're celebrating 100 years. De Garcia Allion.
I enjoy some My Father's cigars, but I got to be honest. If they made their bands better, I would probably pick them up more often.
Well, they're in the game. They're not going anywhere.
I know they're in the game. Yeah, I know they're in the game. So we'll see. Villager Cigar is returning after a 4-year absence at the trade show and had a limited edition Villager Miami 2022. So, interesting.
Villager to me seems like an old cigar head, like cigar smoke. But, I mean, being out of the game, well, not out of the game, but being away from the conventions for 4 years and then coming back with a limited edition cigar, I guess that's one way to kind of get your foot back in the system.
Yeah, I mean, it's one way to generate interest for sure. Yeah. Whether or not it's good is going to determine whether or not they keep that interest.
Right.
So we'll see.
What's her name? Karen Berger? Wife of Enrique Berger, one of the first Americans at Estella.
Ooh,
he died around 2014, but she's releasing a 25th anniversary edition. It's by AJ Fernandez. It's called K. And there we go, AJ Fernandez. We both know he's good.
I love AJ Fernandez blended cigars.
If I actually see this cigar, I would actually pick that one up if I see it. But as we spoke before, a lot of these are limited edition, and I'm not a big fan of limited edition because if you can't get your hands on it, then what? You got nothing.
Yeah, I mean, you can smoke it once, and if you fall in love with it, you ain't got it again.
Yeah.
So Fratello is introduced the vice versa, capped on both ends, and each end smokes differently. So that's a new, interesting gimmick because if you smoke it from one end, you get, like, let's say chocolate, and then you smoke it from the other end, you get something else. That's interesting.
I am very interested in the cigar, but there's one problem I see that maybe they thought of, or maybe I'm overlooking it, or however you want to paint this picture, but it's capped on both ends. The cigar cannot breathe.
So you may have to just cut the cap off of the end that you want to light.
And just let it sit. I mean, if I buy these and put them in my humidor, they don't have a way of breathing.
Well, I mean, the cigar wrappers breathe themselves.
I'm not sure. I'm interested. I'm down. If I see it, I'll get one. I'm down.
I mean,
I definitely will have to buy 2, of course, right?
I would buy 4. Because then I'd smoke 2 one way and 2 the other way and see how it does.
Yeah, I can understand that. So I guess interesting.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that one is gonna happen. So the Espinosa brought out Ooh, Guy Fieri. I remember hearing something about him trying to do something with tobacco, but I didn't follow it. They brought him out for the Knuckle Sandwich, which is a 10-year anniversary limited run. So you see a knuckle sandwich. It's made by Guy Fieri. Interesting.
Yeah, I'm curious to that. Davidoff releases the chef edition, like every year or so, and this is a chef, so it'd be interesting. I'm down. I'll give it a try.
We'll have to see. I mean, honestly, for me, just because somebody is like a master whiskey craftsman, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I forget what the word is. Screw it. I'll go with a different analogy. So just because someone's a sommelier in wine doesn't mean they know shit about cooking.
Correct. I'm down.
So
but they know flavors.
They do great, but I don't know. I'm interested to see what it is. I'm not saying that I would never smoke it. I'm just saying I'd be cautious.
One cigar I was interested in after reading about is the Christoph has a limited PCA cigar called the Guardrail. And it is made with Zimbabwe tobacco filler.
Zimbabwe?
And yeah, that piqued my interest big time. Boom, baby.
Zimbabwe. You don't hear much about Zimbabwe.
Nah, I want to say they're the first to use it, but hey, I don't know. It's the first time I've heard it.
So the I'm going to butcher this name. Arango Cigar Company commissioned Rocky Patel to make Bucktown.
Yeah. That's another one. Yeah, like a boutique kind of cigar. Yeah. So I was curious about that. Rocky Patel, a lot of people say one flavor note, but
we'll find out.
Yep.
Who knows?
Arganosa Leaf, they just featured a bunch of the same cigars, but they just rebrand them, like give them a refresh.
Yeah. I mean, that's okay. Fine. You want to rebrand something, it's still the same crap. And once people figure it out, they're just going to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right. And then I also came up across a list of several cigar companies I've never heard of.
Ooh.
So, I mean, one of the names is Drunken Chicken Cigars. I'm going to pass.
You're going to pass?
I'm going to pass. Don't like the name. Completely just doesn't strike cigar to me.
Okay. But, I mean, Black Label Trading Company?
Better than Drunken Chicken Cigars.
Blackwork Studio?
Still better than Drunken Chicken.
What about the, what is that, Angry Moose?
I did smoke one of them. I didn't like it.
Okay, so
I'm not going to say I didn't like it. I'm going to say I would not purchase it again. Chilling Moose. That's Chilling Moose.
Chilling Moose. That's it. I knew it had a moose in there. I saw it today. I almost bought one. I was like, man, I'm not going to do it. Seems like a gimmick to me.
There's a Civil War like one. It's called Battleground Cigars.
Okay. I'm reading through these that you have on the notes. I gotta be honest, none of these really stand out to me. Maybe Wildfire Cigar Company. I might be like willing to try that one, or Stolen Throne.
Stolen Throne. I like the name of Stolen Throne.
We're all just basing this off the names. We have no idea what this tastes like. So if you guys are like Drunken Chicken's amazing, please. We've never smoked them. Like, let us know that it actually is amazing. We'll give it a shot.
Well, there's a Filipino cigar company called Fighting Cock. I just don't see me smoking that one either.
Well, I mean, it could be the Dirty Rooster. Yeah.
Blue Mountain Cigars is a Jamaican company.
I'd be interested in trying that one.
Although
I feel like Blue Mountain does not go with the Jamaican company name. I'm just throwing that out there. It seems like you should go be in like Tennessee, Virginia, Kentucky. Just saying. Good old boy. Not Jamaican. But all right.
J. London, West Tobacco Company, Fable Cigars.
Interesting. So I did hear in other news that Arturo Fuentes Cigars Company has sent a cease and desist letter to General Cigar Company to kill the Hammer and Sickle.
No. Hammer and Sickle got murdered because of the whole Russian thing.
Oh
Everyone
yeah, yeah,
saw Hammer and Sickle being like a Russian company, and it
yeah.
just it wasn't making money at all. It was actually going south.
I bet.
What's that company? The Cigar Authority, with Two Guys Smoke Shop.
Yeah, yeah.
The guy that owns that, his name is Dave. He purchased all of them. He had like a liquidation sale about it. But Hammer and Sickle is gone now, sadly, but it's gone.
Eh, that's okay. Um, CAO is going to use an X on the box for the Cigar BX3, but they've already used the X on like LX2 and MX2. So, I don't know. We'll see, because there can be legal action between Fuente and them for this Opus X.
Yeah, Fuente has been very protective of his Opus X. There was lawsuits back in the day, 2005. They sued a now no longer existing cigar company, EO Brands, because they used the X on their Series X line. And even Gurkha got some of the heat from it, from using the swords on their boxes, crossing them. You know how you lay two swords across each other? So it kind of looks like an X. So both those cases, Opus X won the right for them not to use an X in their symbols. So it'd be interesting to see CAO, which is General Cigar Company, which is huge, and Fuente go head and head X symbol, especially since CAO already used the X several times before.
Yeah, that one's going to be interesting. And of course, as we all know, what everything has been doing is the prices of cigars are most likely going to go up. Inflation's coming for everything. Food, gas, cars are the biggest ones in the market right now. Don't think cigars are immune to this by any means of the stretch of the imagination. They're going to skyrocket to match probably the Hong Kong market, where boxes are going to be in the thousands of dollars.
The cigar market is really jumping like big leaps and bounds. Our cigar market, from reading up on it, is going to jump roughly around 5 to 9%, depending on the company, what they got to do. But there's a few companies out there that's not going to increase their prices.
What, Drew Estate?
Drew Estate was one of them. There was another one.
That's a pretty big one.
Yeah, but which is nice. I know Padron, they didn't do theirs either, and it worked out well for them. So I'm just curious if it's going to have the same effect on Drew Estate, because Drew Estate has a huge portfolio.
I think it's going to depend on how much the other cigar manufacturers increase their prices. Because then if you're the only game in town, then of course you're going to get all the business. You know what I mean? If you're only the only game at that price point for that quality, of course you're going to get all the business.
But Drew Estate has such a wide range from the budget sticks all the way up to your complex.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's going to be an interesting couple of years. This whole Russian thing has gotten, gas prices are up, everything's up right now, inflation's high. We'll see how this all goes, how it all shakes out. But that's it for the PCA cigar stuff, I believe.
I have one little final note about the PCA, and rumor has it that next one they have will be in New Orleans.
Ooh. You want to fly out here?
I would love to.
We'll drive down. hop in my car.
We'll
drive down. So I assume you're in your first third by now.
Yes, I am definitely in my first third.
Okay.
Earth, leather, and we'll say cocoa, but not just regular cocoa, like a dry cocoa. Like you inhale some of the powder you about to make chocolate milk or something.
Like unsweetened cocoa?
Like you just first open the cocoa and you take a deep breath of that cocoa, and it's that dry powder.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm still getting toast and cinnamon, which is the French toast of Magic Toast, right?
Yeah. Makes sense to me.
Makes sense. It's good. I enjoy it. The guy who sold this to me is like, I don't like Magic Toast. I think they suck. Blah 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 blah. I had one in my hand, and I literally kind of showed it to him. He's like, oh, this is just me personally. I just don't like cinnamon that much, and I think this has an overbearing cinnamon flavor, and blah blah blah. And I was like, okay, it's
great
fine.
Salesman.
I mean, he did try to upsell me on Placencia. It was like a $19 Placencia stick that I've had at another place for like $13.
Yeah,
but he did try to upsell me, and then he didn't even notice I had one until he rung it up. And I was like, good job, guy. But let's talk about the FDA stuff, because this one's going to affect the cigar industry majorly.
Yes.
So the FDA, a judge has found, I don't remember which circuit court, but they found that the FDA ignored evidence in deeming premium cigars are subject to the same law as cigarettes, which is huge.
Yeah, because it's something that everyone has been saying before. Right? You can't treat these the same as cigarettes. That's not the same.
No, cigarettes have a lot of additives. Premium cigars do not. There's just, you can't sit there and say, hey, cigarettes are the same thing as premium hand-rolled cigars. Now, if they said, we're rolling in Swisher Sweets, Black and Milds, like the gas station cigars, the same as cigarettes, I'd probably be a little bit okay with that.
Yeah, they kind of are made almost on the same.
Yeah, they're machine made, but these premium hand-rolled cigars that we smoke, that we enjoy, not saying that I don't enjoy, Black and Mild or Swisher Sweet or whatever, but if I'm going to go spend, $3-4 on some Black and Milds, I'd rather just go get a budget stick or Factory Smokes or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'd rather just smoke one of those. At least I know it's a little bit better. But yeah, it's just, that's kind of huge that a judge ruled that.
Yeah. They also point out the FDA agency had ignored relevant data about the health risk of premium cigar use.
Which is funny because we did an episode about what the FDA found in regards to premium cigar usage, and it was not a significant increase in the cancer potential, of somebody who smokes. I think it was up to 2 cigars a day. It wasn't like a significant cancer increases.
Wasn't that like less than 2% or something?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right around 2%. So it's very interesting because this litigation focuses on the so-called deeming rule, which was adopted by the FDA in 2016, in which it identified a wide range of tobacco products, including premium cigars, to be subject to the regulatory authority, along with cigarettes under the Family Smoking Prevention and Tobacco Control Act. So basically what they did is they deemed premium cigars to be the same thing as cigarettes, to be the same thing as gas station cigars, to be the same thing as all tobacco, basically. They just, FDA lumped all the tobacco in one.
Right, it's tobacco, right?
Yeah, throw it all in the same. No, it's not the same at all. It's just one of those things, like there's subtle differences in almost everything. Well, there's no difference between a Mercedes-Benz and a Toyota, is there? It's a car, right? Yeah, motherfucker, there is.
It's a $80,000 difference.
Yeah.
Essentially, what that means for all us brothers and sisters of the leaf is everything we've been preaching and saying and naysaying about for years is finally coming to fruition, and people are actually listening to what we have to say. So whoever we have on legislation and everywhere that is talking the goodness that we have been spreading for the longest time, we now have our voice heard, and it should separate these two entities when it's coming up in the legislation and making laws and everything moving forward.
Yeah, I would say, I think this is a good move. I think this is a great move on that Judges Act part. What I would also say is if you guys are concerned about what's going on, call your congressman, call your senators, call whoever in your government for your state and tell them, hey, premium cigars are not the same. Send an email. Hey, premium cigars are not the same as cigarettes. Please make sure, if this legislation comes down, to not, vote yes on it or whatever the case is. And if they just can't get behind it and you feel strongly about it, vote.
The direction that it can go, so now that it's separate, it's still kind of up in the air. I'm hoping that it goes for the good, for the better of everyone that's involved. But the fight isn't over. It's just
not by a long shot.
Finally started pushing the boulder uphill the right way.
Yeah,
that's all that is.
We finally got it stopped from sliding downhill, and now we're starting to push back the other way.
So it is indeed a victory by all means, but we have not won anything yet.
Yeah, the war is still ongoing. But I think that's great. I think changing this is huge. I think the other thing that you're going to have to I think the other thing that we're going to be fighting a lot of is public perception.
Correct.
I mean, you look at CBD stuff, and people just automatically associate CBD with marijuana and everything else, but most CBD products don't have any THC in them.
Yeah, it's two separate fields.
Exactly. So, but the stigma, public perception is that it's the same thing. So I think that's something to.
Well, I didn't make it to the second third yet, but we have reached our 30-minute mark. Opinions have been given. We talked about the PCA, shared some news information. It was a pretty good sidebar.
Yeah. We're going to try to do a little bit more of these sidebars where we kind of relevant information, especially when big things like the PCA happen or big news like the FDA or something like that. That way you guys can keep listening and stay up to date on what's happening. And we're just going to try to present the facts. We will give you our opinions, but we're going to try to present the facts in an unbiased manner, and then we'll give you our opinions. You can feel free to take or leave our opinions.
Take them.
But until next time, my name is Austin.
And this is Dice.
And we will catch you guys on the next episode.
Yep.
Don't forget, we need to follow the podcast so we know when new episodes drop.
Thank you for listening to Leadership of the Leaf. The comments and opinions expressed by the host and guests does not reflect the opinions of those that broadcast this show, nor does it reflect any of our affiliates.